The platform to resumes in the dystopian world of the original film, where the pit, a vertical prison system, is both a metaphorical and literal stage for societal commentary. The sequel explores deeper themes of solidarity, law, survival, and the human capacity for cruelty and compassion. New characters enter the pit, each with their own motives, while old rules clash with evolving dynamics. The story begins with newcomers descending into the pit, their conversations laced with naivete and curiosity about the system. The opening scene sets the tone. Each prisoner chooses one dish and one object to bring, a decision that highlights their personalities and survival instincts. Among the characters are Zamiatin, an introspective yet skeptical mathematician, Perempuan, a woman seeking redemption, and Robespierre, an ardent enforcer of the pit's emerging law. New rules in the pit. Since the events of the first film, a revolution of solidarity has supposedly improved the pit's conditions. A group known as the Loyalists attempts to enforce a system where each prisoner only eats their designated food. However, the fragile order is easily disrupted. Food theft, mistrust, and selfishness persist, threatening to plunge the pit back into chaos. The platform carrying food descends from level to level, its bounty diminishing with each stop. Those on the upper levels often gorge themselves, leaving scraps or nothing for the lower levels. This scarcity forces prisoners to decide whether to adhere to the Loyalists' rules or act in self-interest. As Perempuan reflects, the law is love and determination, but its application often leads to violent enforcement. Tensions rise when newcomers, unaccustomed to the pit's brutality, challenge the system. The dialogue reveals their disbelief. How can there be solidarity when we're all starving? The Loyalists' response is ruthless, demonstrating that their version of solidarity often relies on coercion. Unraveling humanity. The pit reveals its true nature as a microcosm of human society. Characters grapple with ethical dilemmas, survival instincts, and the consequences of their actions. Zamiatin's disillusionment. A former mathematician, Zamiatin reveals he abandoned his field after realizing its reliance on imaginary numbers contradicted physical reality. His skepticism extends to the pit's rules, which he sees as arbitrary. Despite his doubts, he forms a bond with Perempuan, drawn to her sense of purpose. Perempuan's redemption arc. Haunted by her past, Perempuan seeks to atone for her sins through acts of kindness. Her backstory is gradually revealed. A traumatic event drove her into the pit, where she hopes to find forgiveness. She represents the moral heart of the film, often challenging the brutal tactics of the Loyalists. Robespierre's extremism. As a self-proclaimed leader of the Loyalists, Robespierre enforces the law with zeal. He narrates stories of the master who once brought hope to the pit, surviving a month without food and sacrificing his flesh to feed others. However, Robespierre's actions often betray the ideals he preaches, as he uses violence to maintain order. The collapse of order. The fragile peace in the pit shatters when a fight erupts over stolen food. Levels descend into chaos as prisoners resort to barbarism, disregarding the rules. A key turning point occurs when Robespierre orders a brutal punishment for a prisoner who violated the law, exposing the hypocrisy of his leadership. Meanwhile, Perempuan and Zamiatin devise a plan to escape during the monthly reset, when prisoners are sedated with gas. Perempuan theorizes that the gas used to incapacitate them could be neutralized, providing a brief window to escape the pit. However, their plan hinges on trust, a scarce resource in their environment. The descent and sacrifice. As the platform descends to the lower levels, the true horror of the pit is revealed. At the bottom, prisoners have resorted to cannibalism, driven mad by starvation. Perempuan and Zamiatin encounter survivors who embody the worst consequences of the pit's design. One such survivor is an anointed one named Djinbabi, known for his brutal enforcement of the law. His backstory reveals a chilling event. He once punished a prisoner by tying her naked to the platform, sending her to the lower levels where she was eaten alive. This act solidified his reputation as both a savior and a tyrant. In the climax, Zamiatin sacrifices himself to ensure Perempuan's escape. His final words reflect his belief in the imaginary. Perhaps the purpose of the imaginary is to remind us of what we can't see. This ambiguous statement challenges the audience to interpret whether solidarity, love, or faith in humanity can exist in a world as brutal as the pit. Resolution. A flicker of hope. Perempuan's fate is left uncertain. The film ends with her emerging from the pit into blinding light, symbolizing either escape or an imagined liberation. The camera lingers on her face, reflecting both hope and despair. The final voiceover quotes the master, urging solidarity and sacrifice. The law is for everyone. Strength and love are in us. Themes and analysis. Human nature and survival. The film explores how individuals respond to extreme conditions, questioning whether altruism or selfishness prevails in the face of scarcity. Solidarity vs. oppression. The Loyalists' attempt to enforce solidarity mirrors real-world systems of governance, where ideals often clash with authoritarian methods. Faith and redemption. Perempuan's arc underscores the possibility of redemption, even in a world as bleak as the pit. The platform too builds on the original film's themes, offering a harrowing yet thought-provoking commentary on human nature, power, and hope. Its open-ended conclusion invites viewers to reflect on their own beliefs about society and morality. Exploration of character arcs and morality. The individual journeys of the characters in the platform too provide a nuanced examination of morality, belief, and the human condition. Each character is carefully constructed to reflect the different ways people cope with despair, power, and the need for purpose. Let's delve deeper into the significant arcs and their contributions to the narrative. Zamiaden, the skeptic-turned-believer. Zamiaden's disillusionment with mathematics, an abstract field he once trusted, implicitly acts as a metaphor for his broader skepticism of systems, rules, and even humanity. His backstory reveals a profound existential crisis that led him to abandon his profession and family, seeking refuge in the pit as a form of self-punishment. Initially, Zamiaden views the loyalists' law with contempt, pointing out its inconsistencies and its tendency to perpetuate violence. However, as he grows closer to Perempuan, he begins to see the potential for change, albeit through unconventional means. His ultimate sacrifice, staying behind to buy Perempuan time, symbolizes a return to faith, not in abstract systems but in human connection. His final statement, "The imaginary is real when we believe in it," leaves the audience pondering whether hope itself is the ultimate construct of the human mind. Perempuan, the seeker of redemption. Perempuan's character embodies hope and resilience. Haunted by her past misdeeds, she enters the pit to confront her inner demons and, perhaps, to find forgiveness. Her nurturing yet firm demeanor contrasts sharply with the brutality of her surroundings, positioning her as a moral compass in a space devoid of conventional ethics. Throughout the film, Perempuan challenges the loyalists' harsh methods, advocating for compassion even as she struggles to forgive herself. Her idea of escape, though audacious, reflects her belief in the possibility of a better world beyond the pit. When she finally ascends to the surface, the audience is left questioning whether she has truly escaped or if the light symbolizes a metaphorical liberation from guilt and despair. Robespierre, the flawed idealist. Robespierre's rise as a leader within the loyalists mirrors the archetype of a revolutionary turned authoritarian. Inspired by the teachings of the master, he views the law as the only means to bring order to the chaos of the pit. However, his enforcement methods, ruthlessly punishing dissenters, reveal his hypocrisy. He preaches solidarity but uses violence to maintain control, embodying the tension between idealism and pragmatism. Robespierre's most poignant moment comes when he reflects on the sacrifices required to build a fairer system. His acknowledgement of the master's own self-cannibalization serves as a chilling reminder of the costs of progress. Yet, his inability to see his own moral failings marks him as a tragic figure, blind to the very flaws he condemns in others. Djinbabi, the tyrant of the pit. Djinbabi serves as both an antagonist and a cautionary tale. As an anointed one, he is revered for his strict adherence to the law, yet his actions, particularly his horrific punishment of Kakase, reveal the dangers of unchecked power. His character underscores the corrupting influence of authority and the fine line between justice and cruelty. Despite his harsh demeanor, Bobby's backstory hints at a man who once believed in the pit's potential for reform. Over time, his faith has morphed into fanaticism, illustrating how even noble intentions can devolve into tyranny when fueled by fear and desperation. Solidarity vs. self-preservation. The film's central conflict revolves around the tension between individual survival and collective well-being. The loyalists' law seeks to enforce solidarity by imposing strict rules on food distribution. However, the pit's inherent design, where scarcity pits prisoners against one another, constantly undermines these efforts. The narrative raises profound questions. Can solidarity truly exist in a system designed to encourage selfishness? Is the law a genuine attempt at reform, or merely another tool for oppression? These questions resonate deeply, reflecting real-world struggles with governance, inequality, and social cohesion. Sacrifice as a path to redemption. Sacrifice emerges as a recurring motif throughout the film. The master's self-mutilation to feed others serves as both a moral ideal and a grim reminder of the extremes required to enact change. Similarly, Zamiaden's sacrifice for Perempuan highlights the power of altruism in even the darkest circumstances. However, the film does not romanticize sacrifice. Instead, it presents it as a complex, often painful act that carries both personal and societal implications. Through Perempuan's journey, the narrative suggests that redemption is not achieved through grand gestures alone but through a continued commitment to compassion and fairness. The pit as a reflection of society. Much like its predecessor, the platform too uses the pit as a metaphor for systemic inequality and the human condition. The vertical structure, with its descending levels and diminishing resources, mirrors the hierarchical nature of societal power dynamics. The film critiques not only those who hoard resources at the top but also those who exploit the chaos below for personal gain. The loyalists' attempt to impose order represents humanity's perpetual struggle to create fairness in an inherently unfair world. Yet, the pit's design ensures that even the most well-intentioned efforts are met with resistance, forcing viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about the systems they inhabit. Conclusion: a haunting meditation on hope. The platform too concludes on an ambiguous note, leaving viewers to grapple with its philosophical underpinnings. Perempuan's ascent into the light could symbolize either liberation or an illusion, reflecting the film's overarching theme, that hope, like the imaginary, exists only if we believe in it. By expanding on the themes and structures of the original film, the platform too delivers a gripping narrative that challenges audiences to reflect on their own values, beliefs, and roles within society. Its exploration of solidarity, morality, and the human spirit ensures it will linger in the minds of viewers long after the credits roll. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.